Hello, I'm at GuffmanHouse.com, and these are my top 3 Salomon park boards of the 2020 season. It's always good to have a solid park board in the quiver of boards that you have because these boards have lots of pop, they're pliable, and of course really durable. The 3 that I've selected are this one, the Huck Knife, the Chris Grenier 6-piece, a 90s throwback, and of course the Villain. All really well-rounded decks that have true twin style shapes with centered stances, meaning that the nose and tails have the same shape. You can ride them this way or this way and they're going to feel the exact same. They all feature great profile shaping called Popster, which is really unique because there's thicker sections of the wood core underneath each foot and directly down the center of the board for good energy transfer, but milled out sections of the wood core on the medial sides of where your bindings rest that allow for the boards to be pressed with a stable platform up here and allow for a flex point right on the inside of the board or the medial section of the bindings instead of right here, which may cause you to fold over the top. I really like Popster and I love how all of these park boards feature it. The first one here is the Villain. It has a feel and flex rating of 5, right in the middle, but it's a little bit softer than what you find in the Huck Knife that we'll get into, even though it has more additional laminates. Along with the Popster profile, it features something called Booster. And Booster is 4 strands of carbon in 3 sections of the board on both the nose and the tail. And it's actually a fairly stable platform for both the nose and the tail because those stringers run from the lateral section of the insert packs directly down the center of the board and then to each contact point, which gives a great energy transfer right to the contact point while you're on an edge and a good platform for ollie, snap, and pop. The cool part about the Booster combined with the rocked out camber profile shape is that even though the nose and tail have a rocker shape to it, it's still sturdy, so it's not going to wash out like a lot of rocker boards that you find in the marketplace today. The rock out camber profile shape is basically a raised flat section that's stable while it's on an edge. It has a quick ollie spot directly behind that back foot with a little bit of rocker on the nose and tail that lifts up those contact points. The cool part about that again is that there's Booster there, so those rockered sections don't get too soft. Another great thing about all these boards here is that they feature a freestyle edge bevel that makes them a little less catchy than a standard like 90-degree style edge. Now the next one, this is a cool kind of collab between Crab and then Chris Grenier. This, of course, is going to be a kind of unique style 90s shape. Now I grew up riding in the 90s and I've always kind of loved this style of shape board. Quick upturns, nice and blunted out. The 6-piece has like a medium style flex to it and it has a no chip style tip, so it's going to be a little bit extra durable because a lot of people who ride this tend to ride a lot of jibs. It has a rock out camber profile, the same thing that you'll find here, but it will be just a little bit softer in the nose and the tail than what you'll find in the Villain. And then next up is the Huck Knife. Now this is a board that Jesse Paul rides a lot of. This is a well-rounded, kind of stiffer flexing style park board. It has a feel and flex of about a 6, but even though it doesn't have as many laminates as the Villain, it still will be a little bit more sturdy and kind of poppy because of the profile shape. Now there is slingshot in the sidewalls. You also find that slingshot in the Villain. It's basically rubbers that sandwiches carbon underneath where the bindings rest within the sidewall. Can give the board a little bit extra boost and make the board a little bit more damp. And then it also has what's called a quad camber profile shape. So quad camber is the most aggressive profile shape of these park boards. It has basically 2 different radiuses of camber within a camber dominant profile. Between the feet, there's a larger radius style camber that's great for, of course, riding on an edge, quick edge-to-edge transitions, but it's not too aggressive where it bucks you out of turns or kind of tosses you about. But then there's more tight radius style camber sections on the nose and the tail that when compressed will bounce back to its original shape a lot faster, which allow for extremely high ollie pop. And that's why a lot of people who like high ollies need to ride or tend to ride larger rail features or ride jumps, really like this board because of the additional kind of like boost with the profile shape. This is again the Huck Knife. Now, if I can kind of dive into each of these boards specifically, a little more specifically on how I feel they ride within the park category, is that the Huck Knife would be probably the best jumper. The 6-piece would probably be the best jibber. And if you want kind of a combination of both of those, you're gonna get the Villain. And you know what? No matter what board you choose out of the Villain, the 6-piece, and the Huck Knife, you really can't go wrong. They're more so designed for being in the park, but you can still take them on groomed trails. You can set the stance back, hell, ride powder with them. Don't let the category name of park stop you from riding the kind of terrain that you want to ride. These again are my top 3 Salomon park boards of the 2020 season. The Villain, the 6-piece, and of course the Huck Knife. Great boards that you can see right now at thehouse.com. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you on snow. Peace.